Hi everyone, welcome back. Ever feel stuck staring at a blank canvas, wondering where to even begin? In this video, I'll walk you through creating Lily, right from those first sketchy strokes on my iPad to the final touches, while sharing real talk on creative blocks, how to push through them, and tips to keep your art flowing. So let's create something beautiful together. So with this book, Penny's Treehouse Triumph, this is book number 4, and I am actually just the illustrator. I have an author I'm working with, and I'm super excited. And also, I've had some stumbling blocks. So I want to walk you through how to stay creative even when it's tough. One of the things that's helped me as I've done Procreate, I used to do Adobe Photoshop, but I have an iPad now, and I do a lot of my art, at least for children's books, with Procreate. One thing that's helped to motivate me is I start out by creating a palette. So for me, that means picking colors. And it's a simple process to just pick some colors that I feel kind of vibes with the character, and I'm creating a palette for them. So skin color, eye color, hair color, but also what colors would be in this character's wardrobe? What colors would they put on their wall? And so I gather those colors together, and I can get started. And that's one little thing that's it's focused, but it's a little mindless in a certain way, so I don't feel like I have to accomplish this great feat. And point number 1 for me, starting is the hardest part. So that's one thing that I can do, is to create a color palette, and it's super simple to say this is not going to take a lot of brain energy, but it's useful, it's very helpful, but it's not a big hump to get over. So like I said, starting is the hardest part. I've opened Procreate many times, staring at the blank canvas, and I just felt like I wasn't in the zone. Or for me, I haven't even sat down at my desk, and I have a short about sitting down at the desk. If you just sit down, usually you'll create something, but there's always 5 million other things that I'm like, oh, I need to do this first before I can start. And a lot of times I'll say to myself, I only have 10 minutes, but I've shared in my other videos, 5 minutes, you can create wonderful things. I have one painting that I made, and I had 5 minutes before I had to walk out the door, and I created the earring on this painting, and it's one of my favorite parts of the painting, and it took 5 minutes. So don't underestimate just putting something down, just starting. It starts the momentum. Today I'm sketching Lily, Penny's imaginative best friend. I wasn't feeling super confident at first. I said to myself, I've got lots of characters to make. Penny's been in the making for a while. She's been in my brain for probably maybe 8 months since I got the manuscript. But I told myself it's okay to start messy. I knew that Lily she needed to have blonde hair. She had a more of a soft color palette. And I will tell you that for me, I am newer to Procreate. I created my last book, Onion Korea, in Procreate. So that was an incredible learning curve. And for all you artists out there, I know for me, one of the biggest things when I went to art school was finding my style. What's my style? What's my style? And of course, I'm sure a lot of other people could see my style, but I really feel like after doing Onion Korea and then coming to Penny and starting her book has helped me really hone what my Procreate style is. It's a blend of using the paint brush in paint and a pencil brush to kind of outline, to make it look like it's something that I would have almost watercolored or gouached and gone over with colored pencil. And I'll share some of my favorite brushes as we go along. I don't want my children's books I don't want it to scream Procreate, but I also, if you're looking at it, there's a lot of little touches that they say digital, and that's okay. I'm finding my style. So why did I choose Lily? She's very creative, and she's a sweet friend to Penny. And I like that the characters in the book are diverse. And I don't try to make people diverse on purpose, like, oh, I need to have an Asian person because I'm Asian. I need to have... No, my author she's an African-American lady, and so I just imagined Penny being her daughter, and I came up with that. And then Zoe, who's an artist, she just likes purple, and she's Asian like me. I have Lily that I'm painting today, and I also have Jamie that will be coming up, and she is Hispanic, and she loves vibrant colors, so you'll see that coming up in one of my next videos. So point number 3, after why I chose Lily, point number 3 is when you get stuck. And I got stuck with some of it. My fill tool was not working. You can probably see, why is she doing it this way? It was just a little annoying, and I went back and instead of using the fill tool, I just colored in a lot of the things, and I know it sounds like, well, why did you take that long? But sometimes for me, when I'm working this way, it's almost cathartic. It's kind of relaxing. It's almost like coloring in a coloring book. And so I don't mind. I have discovered that I was frustrated with it, but I found an opportunity to flip the canvas and just enjoy working on coloring it in. I didn't mind that I had gotten stuck. It was just a way to make the art the way that I wanted to. And yes, it took a little time. And sometimes progress looks like changing your mind. The goal isn't a perfect drawing, it's just to keep going. And honestly, when I was done with this drawing, I felt relaxed. I didn't mind that my fill tool was doing annoying things, and it was my fault, but it was just what it was. And that brings me to tip number 4, which is keep pushing through. Some things that help me when I want to quit, which is strange, because once I'm sure a lot of other artists, but people in general, when you're doing something, no matter what it is that you have hesitated or paused and said, I don't really want to get to that, if you just get started, there are some tips that help me to get started and not want to quit. And number 1 is to set a timer for 10 minutes. And usually by the time 10 minutes has gone by, I'm more engaged. I'm in my zone artistically. I turn on a playlist that matches my vibe for that day. And I don't know why, but a lot of times Penny so far has been a lot of Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong and the swinging big band jazzy sounds, because that's just what I feel the vibe for this book. My last book, On Young Korea, was of course K-pop. It didn't have to be, but it got me working fast. So turn on a playlist that matches what you're working on. So also zoom out and look at the whole picture. It reminds me of how far I've come now. If I'm going back to On Young Korea, it took me a long time. Now the characters were different, they were more realistic, and so that was difficult because I really want my style digitally to be more simplistic, more of, I don't know, like a Curious George, a very simple and sweet demeanor, and realistic people don't always fit that. So now that I'm on this book, I'm finding more of what my style is. And having a character like Lily, it helps. She's really a sweet character. I just had this image of her and I had drawn it in my sketchbook, and that's the way I do it, and I bring it over into Procreate. That she had the string lights, which are a very important part of any fun treehouse. Point number 5, finishing is a victory. finishing a piece, even if it's not perfect, is a victory. And for you artists out there, not everything needs to be portfolio ready. Sometimes it's just about showing up, doing the work, and here's the most important thing, being kind to yourself through it. Every piece of artwork, whether it was good or bad in the past, is bringing me to the artwork that I have right in front of me today. I am who I am for all of my past experiences, for all that I have learned, for all that I have failed at. And I like to think that if Lily were real, she'd high-five me right now, saying thank you. So, if you're working through a creative block, keep going. You're not alone. It doesn't matter if you're working in Procreate, you're working in Paint, you're making something out of wood, whether it's your 100th drawing or your first. Basically, you're making something that didn't exist before, and that's definitely worth celebrating. Let me know if you'd like other tips on layering, brushes, kind of what I do. I'm going to try to share some more of that as I get more steady with what I am doing. Like I said, I'm just trying to find my style. Thank you for showing up with me today. Again, I'm going to try to post more process videos where you can watch me as I'm drawing, but you can also draw along. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and also share, because that always helps the channel out. I hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you next time.